Tonight, somewhere in the world, a firework will explode over a crowd. People will gasp, they will clap, they will think of celebration, not war. But the real answer is far stranger. That flash in the sky began as an accident in a Chinese alchemist's workshop over 1,000 years ago, in a search for something else entirely. Not weapons, not conquest, immortality. You are standing, in your mind, in 9th century China. A Taoist alchemist mixes sulfur, charcoal, and saltpeter, chasing an elixir of eternal life. Instead, the mixture flares and hisses. It burns, it does not grant life, it threatens it. Chinese texts from the period even warn against the mixture, calling it dangerous. Nobody in that room understands what they have just made. What if that room had stayed sealed? What if the formula never left China at all? Historian Joseph Needham spent decades cataloging how many of the world's foundational technologies trace back to Chinese origins long before the West adopted them. Gunpowder is one of the clearest cases. For nearly 3 centuries, it stayed almost entirely within Chinese borders, refined slowly, used first in fireworks and signal flares, then in fire lances and early bombs. It moved through trade routes, through Mongol conquest, through contact along the Silk Road. Only then did it reach the Islamic world, and later, Europe. Here's the twist. China did not fail to weaponize gunpowder. It succeeded early and often. Historian Tonio Andrade has argued that Chinese armies used gunpowder weapons in sophisticated ways for centuries, sometimes more inventively than the Europeans who came later. So why do you associate gunpowder with European cannons and not Chinese fire lances? Because of what happened next. Not a failure of invention, a choice about what to do with it. European states were small, competitive, and constantly at war with each other. That fragmentation forced rapid iteration. Every kingdom needed a bigger cannon than its neighbor, or it ceased to exist. China, by contrast, was already a vast, largely unified empire. Military historian Peter Lorge has described how the incentives were different. Without constant existential rivalry between equally matched states, there was less pressure to endlessly refine the technology into something that could reshape continents. Picture 2 versions of the same invention. One grows up in a house on fire, forced to adapt every single day. The other grows up secure, refined at its own pace. Both are real. Both happened. The difference was never intelligence. It was pressure. Now imagine the sealed room. Imagine gunpowder never crosses the Mongol frontier. It stays a court secret, a firework, a curiosity for emperors. No fire lances reach Baghdad. No formula reaches Europe by the 13th century. Without gunpowder, European castles remain nearly unconquerable. Siege warfare stays slow, medieval, expensive. The knight, not the musket, keeps his place at the center of the battlefield for another 2, maybe 3 centuries. Naval power stalls too. Cannons on ships are what let small European nations, starting in the 15th century, project force across oceans they had no business controlling. Remove that, and the age of European colonial expansion does not happen the way it did, or does not happen at all. Would China have used that same window to expand outward instead? Zheng He's treasure fleets in the early 15th century were already larger and more advanced than anything Europe had built. With sole ownership of the era's most transformative military technology and ships already capable of reaching Africa, the balance of global power in your world right now might trace back to a formula that simply never left one country. You don't think about any of this when you watch fireworks. You think about celebration, color, noise, a night to remember. But every burst above your head is a fossil. It is the shape of a choice made 1,000 years ago, in a workshop that was looking for eternal life and found something else instead. The alchemists never got their immortality. They got something that outlived them anyway. It just didn't stay where it started. So tonight, when the sky lights up, you are not just watching a celebration.